malas in my life. My mother was caught in a very tragic accident. Nalunod yung barko. My mother was one of the casualty. Tapos, I was separated from my first husband. I was left with 3 small kids. And then, madami pa. And I have no job at the time. I have no work. And I said, bakit ganito ang buhay ko? Sobrang malas. So, of course, I was, very prayerful. And then I did Feng shui. Nagsimula lang ako. Kahit yung sinasabi na gabay, mga gabay. Feng shui is gabay. Like, for example, anong maswerteng isuot, na kulay? Or anong pwedeng simbolo na pwede kong gamitin? If you want more love, so I'm wearing, by the way, from Gias. This is peony for love. This is coming Christmas. And then love is very important for everybody. And at the same time, like what I said, symbols. These are symbols of good fortune. I'm wearing the Infinity 8s. I'm wearing mga pampaswerte against illness. So all of these really help. Again, pag hindi mo kayang bumili or anything, I even encourage you to make a drawing. Pag kukupihin mo naman yung zodiac sign ko, you please give credit to me naman. Pero I don't think you're able to copy the QR code because it's loaded by the blockchain technology. So, it will always come back to me. So, to cut the question and the answer is that, again, prayer is still number 1. Number 2 is sometimes you also have your gut feeling. Sometimes when you feel mo, di ba? You have to listen to yourself as well. And Feng Shui is there to guide us. And for example, you have your monthly guide every month. And each page of this book is very valuable. Maybe because of the metaverse, there will never be no more book next time. Everything you're gonna see it online. So that's gonna be the next thing. So use it as a reference, but I still would like to encourage you to do your own thing. Whoever is your divine, image that you follow, you pray harder as well. And another thing I'd like to say finally is really, sometimes you just have to trust the universe. Feng Shui means wind and water. You have to go with the flow. You cannot go against the wind because otherwise it's more difficult. So trust the universe. If someone is hurting you today, do you know that if someone hurts you, the other counteract pala niyan is something good is gonna happen to you. Yeah, so if you ask me, every separations, every heartache, sabi ko nga, alam mo, I should really thank my previous husband. Because, not true, because of the breakup, because of the separation, it enables me to strive harder to be more independent. Kaya women as you are, I really encourage you to be independent. Be your own woman. You can get up. You cannot just depend on any man. Get up and find another. If they're doing bad things, then you find another one. And just trust the universe. The universe always has the answer. If the door closes, another window opens. And I'd like to say this to you guys. Always find positive things in every negative things that comes into your life. There is always positive things there. Diba? Sometimes you always say, bakit nangyari ito, etc., etc. You didn't know that God, the universe, even has a better one for you. That is why separation, I have been practicing stoicism. Actually, you do not lose the person that you love because in the first place, you don't own them. The children, your husband, your spouse, you don't own them. You return them. So you do not own them in the first place. That's why you cannot say you lost them. The universe or the heavens above, once it decides, there's nothing you can do. So you just have to go with the flow. It hurts, it sucks, but then you can get through it. And then, we all have been through, I'm sure everyone in this room, we have been through so many difficulties in life, right? But hey, we managed to survive and survive. Haba na sagot ko. Next question. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Talking about our economic outlook for 2023 and of course, our president, what you mentioned, 2023, I think is booster.
Okay. So yeah, I don't have all the answers, but basically when it's our conflict year, there's going to be some challenges. And again, if you have a very good team, I'm sure they can sort of like contain it or pwede naman na-control lahat ng pwede yung mga difficulties that would come. I just would like to say that nonetheless, take it easy because once it's our conflict year, anything can happen, And then at the same time, in terms of the economy, the world is going through a recession. It's going to be the next 2 to 3 years before we can get up, on track. I would say though that Southeast Asian countries is going to be doing better compared to like European countries because they're very close to, diba, because of the war, etc. And we really do not know what's his mind is going through, and we are at the mercy of this. North Korea, we are at the mercy of, Russia. So that's why prayers is very important. One thing I can tell you, my friends, is the world is changing. The world has changed. I am going to tell you this, and I'm sure it has happened to you. I'm sure you have already felt it. This year and next year, the changes is going to be massive. Simply because, like what I said, we are going to be shifting from period of 8 to period of 9. We are in the tail end of 2022, 2023 is the last year for period of 8. It's going to have a massive shift. So everything will change. And like what I said, our theme is hop, skip, or jump. So that is the idea of the rabbit, right? That is the characteristic of the rabbit. But then, thankfully, rabbit naman has been known to be very meek and mild and love peace and harmony. And then the center sector of 2023 has the romance at the middle. So I would hope that this is the love, this is the year that a lot of people who may have separated can be reconciled. If you have been delaying your wedding because of the COVID, this is the time for you to do it. A lot of people were so scared of traveling. You see, travel is good, so meaning tourism will be good. So when you talk about economy, there are sectors that's going to be favoring, and in the economy side, and there are sectors that's going to like not make it. So every year is the same. If you have a lot of money, if you are an investor, then you can just invest, right? If money is no object for you, because there's a lot of sale in the market. But if you are on the seller, then you don't have any option because there's a lot of available or surplus in the market. So it really depends which side of the coin are you. But we will discuss more on December 17th. Thank you. Anyone? Yes, sir.
From where are you going to conduct the webinar? Are you going to fly back to the UK or are you going to stay here until December 17 and 18?
I want to do it in the Philippines because it's so cold in London. I've been doing it for 2 years there. And wow, it's winter time, so I want to do it in the Philippines. And I think at the same time, the merriment and the energy of the Philippines during Christmas is different. And I think it's about family as well. I haven't seen my family for 2.5 years. So I'm gonna do it here.
And Ms. Marites, you mentioned earlier na people can choose na lang anong animal side will be taken up in certain hours.
Yes.
Can you please elaborate more about that?
Yes, so our Feng Shui convention usually runs, it starts with introduction, then we have the prognosis, then we have the how to make the best of your animal signs, and then we have the lucky and lucky sectors of the home, how you can enhance it. So for example, on the segment of how to make the best of your animal signs, instead of you watching the whole forecast for 12 animal signs, which may not be relevant to the board because you are a rat, for example, you can now actually pick that you are going to watch this particular segment. But everybody will also have the chance to see also the critical information. Because when you practice Feng Shui, my friends, it's very important. Like for example, I have to warn you this time, you have to update your Feng Shui as early as 3rd week of December. You do not wait because the Chinese New Year is very early. It's in January 22, right? So it's very, very early and the energy changes already. Like what I said, the attitude of everybody, the attitude of people will be changing. Somebody that you know now, you thought he cannot do it, but he can actually do it. But all of a sudden, the attitude of people is changing. So be ready. I want you to be ready with changes. Like you thought, even in the company's policies, you used to do these things, but now it's changed. And it also applies to everyone in the family members. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You mentioned earlier that this year wasn't so good for your sign. How did you surpass that? How did you survive a bad year, so to speak?
Thank you for your question. So what happened was that, because I knew, this is the nice thing with Feng Shui. I mean, I could die. I could have died this year. Pero hindi pa naman kasi December 31 pa yung year, di ba? So meron pa. So actually, what I did was I had been done through a lot of training. So I did a lot of yoga. I've been to a retreat in Bangkok. I had this very special monk who did the blessing for me. And I'm telling you, all the blessings. I went to the healing church. I went to the monks, and I also was practicing and been to get the certification of the Tao Healing Hands. Dr. Sha Tao is like one of the world's renowned healer. So we were taught that one day, maybe I could do that to you, that we have this very strong ball of energy into our hands. So we were like, they transferred that to us, and then we can now cleanse ourselves. And I don't know about you guys, I can share this to you, but I am a person, I just cannot cry. I only cry sometimes yung mga Korean drama, mga crash landing, my gosh, yes. But sometimes I really have difficulty in crying. It's here, it's in my heart, and sometimes it's difficult to release. So the best way for me is to meditate, and then there's on YouTube. I can share it to you maybe when we send you your the email. It's called a Love, Peace, and Harmony. So we meditate for that, and I'm telling you, you can actually, when you cleanse a person, remember this, my friends, you do not cleanse only because of your mind. Diba? You go it's in the mind. Pilar, it's just all in the mind. You move it. But then it's not. Diba? You keep thinking about negativity, etc., positivity. No, it actually starts from the soul level. So we were taught to really study the cleansing method from the soul. Because from that until your mind, your body, and the overall of your spirit, you can cleanse. And I'm telling you, I had like first, second, we were all crying like crazy. So there was this young guy, he's from Germany, one of my classmates, and he was like 62, 63 years old. And then, we were like meditating and everything, and all of a sudden, he was crying. And he said, you know what, I had to cry because I had been like parang abused when I was a child. It was there being kept pala inside him. So parang the father had to remarry, and then the new mother were like stopping them from doing things. So he was keeping it inside. So all of us, my friends, has that from ourselves. So if you ask me, those are obstacles that we have to release. So I have to study a lot of meditations. We had like a 7 to 9 a.m. Our program was, we have to do yoga mantra meditation. 9 to 11, we have the yoga. In the afternoon, we have like a past life regression. So it's really like cleansing our own self, which is honestly Next year ko pa sana i-announce, but ngayon na lang. I'm developing my own yoga retreats, yoga mantra retreat in our beach in El Nido. So one day you can come, please. I have a very, very miraculous wish-fulfilling tree there. And a lot of people who went there really like granted their wishes. So these people that I met are amazingly, they are like executives from all over the world. And they said, you know what, we've been working day and night, but then we don't have anything for ourselves. For what? So it was really cleansing for ourselves. So like what he said, even in the coming 2023, people has changed now. It's now about me. That's why you have to love yourself first. Because once you love yourself, you're strong enough to get through any obstacles in life. So I had to do that. And of course, I do a lot of prayers. Yes. So thank you. Okay. Any question on that side, Miss? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hi, Ms. Marites. Of course, congratulations, of course, a newly released.
Thank you. Did you like it?
Yes, of course. Technology is beyond me. I don't really know how that works, but I'm also a computer engineer. So parang medyo...
It's my son.
Yeah. This is really new technology that you're coming out with. But let me ask you also about what's gonna come this year, because generally there's gonna be a few of the sites that are gonna be not so lucky. And who would you like point at if in case these particular sites should really work hard this year? Do you have any advice for them?
Yes, so I would specifically work, the rooster has to work extra careful, of course.
Okay.
The tiger and ox, okay, and of course the dog and the boar, and then the dragon and snake. So there's a lot of them actually. So you're talking about 7 against, 5, right? So 7 signs. So basically, let's say for example, if you talk about the dragon and snake, so the threat there is really argumentatives, but then if you are facing like lawsuits, people can sue you or you can sue anyone. So for example, I have a friend at their house, I know that their house is facing southeast and the owner of the house is a snake, so parang it's double. So I can already advise them to perhaps maybe paint the front gate with something red. That's how to subdue. So there's so many things you can do. For the dog and boar, wear something like white, gold, or silver. If you are the tiger and ox, then try to wear something like a dark, the use of blue, for example. It's good for you. Put some, rhino and elephant symbol. In fact, I think, I'm just waiting for it, but it's actually here. So I put all these individual signs. I'm gonna pay it after for each animal signs. So there's always cure. This is the nice thing with Feng Shui is because you somehow know the forecast, so you are like, somehow it's up to you how to control it as well.
You can plan ahead.
You can plan ahead. Yeah, like what I said, to be honest with you, I was supposed to be ill this year, like big time. Separation from family and friends, I did experience that. I know I have been mentally being ready. You've seen my daughter Nikki, she's like the apple of my eye. And now all of a sudden she's gone. Like, hello mommy, I've already seen you last week. I know, I want to see you again, but she's staying in her own place. So it's really weird. And then, it's like, wow, pwede ka palang, the cycle of life is very different. So I believe we have to be ready with those things. But again, I just would like to say that 2023 and beyond is going to be a different thing for everybody.
Okay. Ma'am, may I ask an additional question? I'm curious about the Friga and
Yes.
what you have in store with the fashion side of things. Are you be coming out with new designs as well?
Yes, so for example, as you can see, it's also connected to the metaverse. We cannot launch it because it's quite, the timing is not right, but maybe during Chinese New Year. So for example, you can now, ito na naman, hindi ko pa sana i-announce, ma-announce ko. So for example, we have like a Friga earrings, for example. You can already have a QR code and you're gonna see if you can see it, if it's bagay sa'yo or hindi.
Oh.
Yes! So even on those jewelries, accessories, even the fashion. But you know, this is technology, you need to have a lot of investment with that. So
Yes.
anywhere you are, even before you bought the particular charm, you can already like try and wear it, like does it look better for me and everything.
But it's more like AR.
Yes, this is an augmented reality version. So in fact, for example, maybe in the coming years, you're not gonna see me in person, but you're gonna see me in the metaverse
Wow.
to be conducting the Feng Shui convention. Yes, so this is what I'm trying to say, my friends. The world has changed. So you also have to follow the change. Because if you don't, then you're gonna be left behind.
Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms.
Thank
Marites.
you, thank you.
We have time for one last question.
Yes.
Hi, Ms. Marites.
Hi, sir.
Kasi Feng Shui is very traditional and then you're entering the metaverse which is very technology. So, how is it? Paano nyo napag-merge yung dalawa? And was there a resistance yung pagbabago? Anong yung mga difficulty? May bawal ba?
Well, actually, no, because in fact, as we speak right now, my son, who is in Dubai, they just finished the event last night. He was a speaker for the United Architects of the Philippines, who are into metaverse. So I think the convention, a lot of the architects from the Philippines, I think there's about nearly 500 of them. It's a like parang national convention was held in Dubai yesterday. My son was one of the speakers because now they're asking like how the architects could take advantage of the metaverse to be in with the present time. No, it's really true. It's like really amazing. So if there's changes to be done, for me, it's really just, for example, this. Just hear me out. I don't know if you were there during my event. I think that was it in Marco Polo? The one with, the one where they had like the round compass. That was in Quezon City, the hotel. Remember, I was standing there on top of a compass, and then I put like this is the north, the south, and you have to put this. That idea, can you imagine if you put it into the metaverse? Marites Alan is standing there, and then I will be standing in a house, and practically I can already show you that you put the rabbit in the east, you put the horse in the south. But all of this is being shoot over and shown anywhere in the world. So you have to go with the times. And there was no difficulty. One thing I would say is because it was also born out of COVID. So that particular situation, my son, at the beginning of COVID, sometime in March, April 2020, said, Mommy, I'm gonna go to this country and everything, etc. Sabi ko, anak, why don't you stop traveling, Because this is COVID. But no, they were pursuing to do these things, and I never understand this metaverse. I have no clue what is NFT. I have no clue what is blockchain. Never. And then they keep telling me, like, Mommy, this is how it goes, etc., etc. Sabi ko, oh nga, no? So can you imagine, I want to ask Nikki, buy me this particular outfit in, I don't know, Harrods, whatever. And then, Mommy, they now have, like the Adidas, remember? Adidas now, you can just put and take a picture, and then you can see whether this particular shoes is good for you. So that's where Frika is gonna be. So even if you are not there physically holding the item, you are now digitally wearing it yourself. I can even have a photo shoot using the metaverse and using the augmented reality, which is like amazing, but maybe scary at the same time. Because they can just like practically get your face and then superimpose the body of somebody else. But then it's very difficult to do that because of the blockchain technology. So it has to be real because your voice has to be the same, etc. So honestly, if you are into the media industry, there's also a big change there. You have to go with the times. Simulan na lang natin dito. Remember, we used to print press releases, right? I remember in the first days, year 1, we are year 17, we used to prepare CD or USB so you can have the photos, right? Ngayon wala na, just give me your email address and then we will email it to you. You don't need to print those things. So, it's really becoming digital now. The metaverse is like another level. I think the nearest I could say, and I wish my son is here, maybe one day I can tell him to come. It's like, remember na nag-internet tayo? Is you have to put like money and then the thingy will come, di ba? And then, dial up, di ba? And then we have the DSL line. And after that, we have na ito na, mga wifi na natin. So, who knows? Yes, I think Pilar has a question. You have...
Tanong ko lang sa iyo, kasi ayan na nga, nasa metaverse ka na, yung mga ganyan. Meron, nakita kasi yung pinost ko, merong producer na interested to parang make a show for you, or a film. So she wants to, to set a meeting with you. Are you still, with that? Since
Sure, why not? Yeah, I think for me, is anything that could give information to the public. I am now at the stage that, darling, I'm getting old. So for me, it's really the sharing of information. If it could help somebody else, why not? Yeah. Game tayo dyan. Basta nandiyan ka, basta kasama ka, basta condition. Okay. Yes. Wala. We need to know first kung muna. What's the project? I have my finance director, Miss Blanca Mercado. She has to, sign off. My lawyer is coming over, Attorney Benji. So, kompleto tayo dyan. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, before we just say hi to our
Hello, everyone. I would like to invite you to please don't forget to register our upcoming Year of the Water Rabbit forecast, December 17 and 18, 2022. And you can actually get your tickets or register it from freega.co.ph or freega.co.uk or our hotline 0920-950-9390. The most important thing that we have to understand is, again, we are entering the period of 9. So there's going to be a lot of shifting that's going to happen to everybody, to every business, and it's just good to be ready and be prepared by it. And then, of course, don't forget to get a copy of your limited edition Marites Allen Golden Zodiac, which are now in our horoscope books. And you can actually entertain yourself and your family with the augmented reality experience. Thank you, everyone. So thank you, everyone.